Okay, so this is awkward, but this is like 2-3 days after the last episode, where abruptly cuts out in this fight. Yeah, so I'll go into the fight and I'll explain then. So, for some reason, the video did not record to my external hard drive. So it ran out of data. And originally I was going to just move it over to external and record like a super short of the rest of the Chaos Realm. I have decided I'm going to decide instead to go ahead and do the next 2 realms. So I decided to just kind of put it off. I was going to do it yesterday, but personal life got in the way of stuff. So, assuming, depending on if people remember or not, for anyone watching, we are defeating the mass guards, the Satan guardsmen for the Cleric of Chaos Havoc, and putting these pendants around them to convert them to chaos. And this was the last one. So yes, that's what we're doing. We are currently searching for the Chaos Realm Kamidogo. In addition to that. So, yeah. Alright.
You have done it! You have converted the Satan guardsmen to the ways of chaos. Havoc will be most pleased. He waits for you in the town to the south.
Alright, town to the south. Yeah, so the last video, once I'll be uploading it shortly after this one's done.
Converted the Satan guardsmen to the ways of chaos. Shut down their facilities and came here for guidance. I proposed to them a mission in the home of Satan, the realm of order. They have already embarked on the quest. I thank you for your assistance. You said you would show me the way of chaos if I were to free their minds. As if I would honor a deal? Should know better than to bind a man of chaos to his word. I free myself of this oppression. Fight.
I totally lost the tangent I was on. I started thinking of, I guess the Chaos Realm just has a portal to Order Realm? I mean, it makes sense, thinking about it. Because, like, otherwise, I can't see how they would interact all that much. There's clearly a way through realms other than the Nexus. Of course, there's always that portal that, Quan Chi and Shang Tsung took in Deadly Alliance to go kill Liu Kang. Which did make me, think of an Aftermath, and also, I was thinking, Aftermath, Shang Tsung is all of a sudden able to make portals. Was that a thing? Outside of Shaolin Monks? Because he does it in Shaolin Monks to collapse the island. But he never does it again otherwise. Until, I guess he does it, think about it in MK9, when he summons he opens a portal for the Tarkata to attack the Wuxi Academy. But otherwise, I don't think of any other options. Yeah, so I figured that. Oops, XL combo. I figured that I would just hold off and do this episode, upload it maybe a little bit after the last one gets uploaded, since this has the explanation. And I figured that, you know, go ahead and do some of the realms. Instead of just, or originally that video was going to end with Chaos Realm anyway. So, we had to go ahead and continue on. For same as this, I'll probably at some point stop this recording just to so this one start processing, but that will be quite a while from now. What? Okay. That was interesting. Never seen that before. The spikes of the thigh right there is like one of my favorite attacks for Havoc. I just forget how to do it whenever I play Havoc, which admittedly isn't often. Whoops. Because of, I'm not a huge fan of his moveset on doing the arcade ladder. Punches. It's like they gave up. Like, they made the punches for Astra, and then thought, okay, you know, Ermac, I'll do an Ermac too. And on Havoc, they just went, alright. And just straight gave up on doing it. Like, at least Astra and... No, actually, I guess just Astra. Astra has at least some combos with the actual weapon. Unless you count, and then Ermac, unless you count his, like, the whirling axe, which isn't really a combo. It's just a move that does 3 hits. I'm not sure, it's strange. It's like we just went, punches. Gave up. There's a few weird things like that that occur in this game. Where it's like consistency in certain trainings. One of the later ones, I'll probably point it out when it happens. For instance, you do the special moves, I think 4 times? 4 or 5 times instead of just 2. Which I don't understand why. I think you actually do it in 2 trainings, and they're right after each other. Did I just duck? Ow. And sometimes that happens too, where like, you don't finish something. Like here, I bet if I just hit him right now, it'll trigger. Yeah, see? I'm not sure why that happens. Ow. Oh, that one didn't work. Ow. Piss off. Stop. Okay, so that's my exact point. Like, why? I guess it's just so like, you made an attempt. It's just a weird, like, thing. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It just seems like a glitch or something. I'm not entirely sure. That is, for all the flaws I don't like about Havoc's moveset so much, I love his projectile. It, like, snaps his legs back.
Well done.
Well done. You tried to kill me.
Nonsense. How could I teach you the way of chaos if there was an agreement, a structure to the lesson?
Oh, I think I understand. I was learning from the unpredictable nature of experience, not from a structured tutorial. I did not realize you had no intentions of harming me when you attacked, and therefore I learned to adapt to what I perceived to be a real threat.
You are correct, except I would have killed you if you had given me the chance. I was quite serious. Because you have survived my assault, however, I give you this key to an ancient labyrinth. May it unleash chaos upon your journey.
Alright. Yeah, I'm sure I'll find it. Is it white or something? No, it's like every other key. Like I said, the eventual plan is to eventually do a video once we're done here, and do a video where it's just me unlocking stuff, maybe clean up a bunch of side quests, or maybe I'll separate them later. People being loud in my house. What's this? As Shujinko walked to the shallow pond. Pond? Pond, yes, pool. He felt a strange dizzying sensation, as if the world was passing him by. So.
Yes, I found it in a labyrinth not far from here, but I feel strange. I feel like I have changed.
Indeed, you have. Many years have passed since you first entered this realm. I suspect the labyrinth you encountered contains some time-altering agent. Time has passed, but you have not perceived it.
Many years? By the gods. I do feel older. It must have been that strange liquid I stirred.
That is a distinct possibility. It matters not. You can return to the Nexus and place it on the altar. You have done well, Shujinko. The other gods will be pleased.
Once again, how were these Kamidogu placed here? Like, maybe the liquid is a conscious thing made by the other gods? But, like, where, like, in Earthrealm, it's in some random cave in China. Which, okay. That's very specific spot in the world. But, like, Netherrealm makes sense. It's in, like, a temple. Right there. And, like, however, the Netherrealm is, like, probably the best hidden. Because, like, at least it's, like, it's hidden like a crystal at this temple. Admittedly, the temple isn't a great hiding spot, because if you look at that temple, you go, this looks weird. This seems suspicious in here. But, admittedly though, like, for instance, Netherrealm, if Shujinko had never met Ashura, I don't think he ever would have found the Kamidogu. I think he would have died in the Netherrealm. Just, if Ashura had, like, never led him to the temple. Not that she gave directions anyway, but, you know. Because, like, that crystal inside has gotten knocked loose by Ashura being, like, punched into it. And I guess he immediately shattered on the ground, revealing the Kamidogu. Chaos Realm, it's an aged liquid. But, I don't know, maybe the Chaos Realm, it's in a labyrinth at least. So at least there is that. I feel like in a realm where people wander aimlessly, that's probably ironically the safest part. Because no one's going to want to enter the labyrinth just to get something. because they're just wandering for the hell of it. On the other hand, it also has the opposite, where it like is a case of they wander and then find it. I guess they just don't care, maybe. Have no interest in it. It's just like, I can't figure out the cave. Like, imagine if the Lin Kuei had actually gotten a hold of that thing. It might be better that Shujinko is doing all this. Welcome to... Oh wait, he'll say it.
This is Outworld? I have heard many stories about this realm. This is the domain of the Emperor Shao Kahn.
Emperor, indeed. He is a thief, but his seeker. He is not the rightful lord of this realm. There was a time when we were much like witnesses to your birth, an advisor, but he abandoned his position and stole Outworld for himself.
Who ruled Outworld before Shao Kahn?
A powerful military commander, Onaga, the Dragon King. In that age, Outworld was unified. Under Shao Kahn's rule, however, Outworld has become a dangerous and chaotic place. Whoever has
I will keep my eyes open, Elijah.
Alright, so... this is one of those another, like... weird, like... How does Shujinko know where to go? I guess it's kind of close to the portal. So maybe that could be at least the comparison. Look at this realm. Portal is at the White Diamond, or whatever. And we're going to that city with the green. How does he know? Like, does he have some innate, like, draw to this place that's represented by maybe the green glow? Because obviously, I imagine the green glow isn't there in, like, actual story. It's obviously a gameplay thing. So the question to me is always, like, look at Outworld. Where did you start? I guess in this case, the first town. Maybe. But it's just strange. Oh, La Tarkata.
Look at what we have here. Another straggler from Melina to sink her teeth into.
I do not wish for trouble, but I will defend myself if necessary. I must warn you that I am quite skilled in the art of combat.
Is that so? We will see how long you can endure my attacks. I will sharpen my teeth with your bones.
So this is always one of those weird things that I think occurs in Conquest mode due to outfits. Mainly this one is the big one to me. Melina should not be in this outfit. This is technically Katana's outfit in this game. I believe during this training, Melina should have been in her alternate. Simply because she is not posing as Katana yet. In fact, at this point, I think Katana is still with Shao Kahn. Because we're still years before MK1. And that means we're still years before MK2. That confused me for some reason, that move. Hence I had no reaction to them popping in the air, like I usually do. Just straight up confused me, I'm like, wait, what? That's a pop-up? Okay. Stances being the way they are. I like how some moves just have no names. Like, in the game, or like, they have names, but like, the training just decides not. Like, it was XXY, I think. Like, Serpent Takes Prey, but it doesn't name it. And it's not even like, oh, maybe it's too long, because it named Fingers to the Eyes. It's like, I don't... quite understand how they decide what they want to show the name and what they don't. I do have plans for a run through of also all the fight challenges, and that includes like some of the really worst ones. Some of the fight challenges would be used in the unlock, because some unlock stuff. I would probably still include them in the fight challenge run through.
Well done.
Simply for the sake of like consistency, because they are fight challenges. So they would probably be duplicated. Mess that up. So.
Fantastic.
I don't know, I've always liked that move, this one. I think it's clever, using the high heel with the two sides. Oops.
Good job.
I do find it interesting that in MK11 they've kind of reused Melina's like purple color scheme again. Like as an alternate. Because, I don't know, it's weird. I like the actual straight pink better. So that purple look that she has in her alternate. Although this outfit, her outfit like she's wearing here, does look good in purple. But, yeah, Melina's color's pink. Has stroke there for a minute.
Excellent work. Well done.
I mean, a lot of the fights, well, you could pretty much spam that attack. Jump the gun a bit. And it usually works. Even like an arcade ladder works for me
Well done.
first like 2 or 3 fights, depending on difficulty. And that she has like a lot of spammable attacks like this. I do find it funny that it's one of those weird things. Like in game, that throw, Frankensteiner. As a wrestling fan, I don't know if anyone watching are also wrestling fans, but get over here. I'm trying to show for the audience that doesn't exist. It's very blatantly a Hurricanrana. A Frankensteiner they land on their head. So, I just find it funny. But it's, you know, it's Mortal Kombat, you know what I mean?
Impressive! You survived my assault. You are a great warrior. There is much we can gain from one as skilled as you.
I thank you for your kind words, Melina.
Perhaps you would be interested in assisting our cause. Recently, the walled city of Lei Chen has defied the rule of the Emperor Shao Kahn. He has sent us, his Tarkatan forces, to take the head of the Overlord there. We would like to complete our objective without incident, but we will use force if necessary. Would you act as our voice and convince this fool of an Overlord to surrender his life to Shao Kahn, so that his subjects will be spared?
What if the Overlord refuses to surrender?
Everyone in the city will be slain. The city walls are strong.
Jesus.
But they will not hinder our assault for long.
This is a most uncomfortable position for me. But if it means the citizens will be spared, I will see what I can do.
You have our word. Bring us the head of the Overlord and we will spare them all.
It's like, this is gonna be a thing. People are in the house and start being loud.
Are you the ruler of this city?
Yes, I am Overlord Severe. State your business. Shao Kahn has sent his Tarkatan horde to attack my city.
That is precisely why I am here. I have come to you with a message from the Tarkatan forces outside your walls.
You have my attention. Go on.
Shao Kahn has offered your people amnesty. Under one condition. You must surrender your head.
My head? Unacceptable. I will never surrender myself to Shao Kahn. Not even to save my people.
The Tarkata grow in number outside the walls of your city. It is only a matter of time before they overwhelm your military and destroy you all. For the sake of your people, I strongly...
There may be another solution. If word of our struggle were to reach Sado, the realm of order, their elite guardsmen...
Did his voice change?
If I can find that realm, I will tell them of your plight.
Excellent. You will need something of value to offer as payment. My city has been overtaxed by Shao Kahn, and therefore I have nothing suitable here. But there are rumors of a priceless object hidden somewhere in the living forest. If you can locate it, give it as payment to the Satan for their resistance. Please do not delay.
Not to fear. I will bring help.
Okay, bowing may have been unnecessary at that point. Also, I feel like this is a point to make. There's no military outside the walls. Ignoring the gate being open, for the sake of just like... This is pretty much them being nice. Like, they could just walk through the gate. Even overwhelming military is irrelevant. Like, walls are only good if you have the defenses to hold them. Like, in Avatar, Bossing Say would have failed if Aang and them hadn't stopped the drill. Because of, like, they just couldn't handle it. They couldn't fight off Azula, Mei, and Ty Lee. So there is that. Hey, Jade. I see.
Who are you? What are you doing in the living forest?
I have been sent here to search for a valuable item said to be hidden in this area.
You are too late. I have already found it. My queen sent me to secure it from the tyrant Shao Kahn. It seems I have located it just in time. Die, Outworld mutant!
So, I do find it interesting that Jade says queen there, mentioning that Sindel basically sent her, not Jared, her king at the time. Which I don't think a lot of people catch. Is like, yeah, that she mentions Queen, showing that her loyalty is to Sindel and possibly not Jared. Obviously, you know, Edenians don't age or anything like humans do. Granted, I've always assumed their age is, the way they age is probably similar to Blood Elves in World of Warcraft. Perfect. And I mean, oh.
I did not realize it was the Kami. The Overlord of Lei Chen had asked me to offer it to the Seidan Guardsmen as payment for their assistance in defending against the Tarkatan hordes.
It belongs to the Elder Gods and must be returned to you. You will place it on the altar with the others.
But I have given my word that I would bring back help from the realm of order. How will I broker a deal with them if I cannot offer the Kamidogu?
The point is moot. You cannot enter the realm of order without placing this Kamidogu on the altar. If indeed you wish to aid the Overlord, I suggest you offer the command of the city to the Seidan militia. Their principal philosophy is one of order and control. They will have little interest in defending the city once they occupy it. Furthermore, they will not resist the chance to thwart Shao Kahn.
But the Overlord did not give me the authority to...
What he wants is of no concern to us. The Kamidogu is not his to use at a far edge. Broker a deal with the Seidan if you feel so compelled, but do not lose sight of your primary objective. Returning the Outworld Kamidogu to its rightful place in the Nexus, and continue with your quest.
I will do as you ask, Damash.
So, as I was saying before I get into another topic I mentioned, what am I? Blood Elves age basically like humans do normally up until the age of 21, at which point their biological aging slows. I've always assumed it's never been stated, but I've always assumed that Denians are probably the same. They age like normal humans up to a certain point, probably 21. And then their like biological age slows. Like, I can't imagine Katana is like a baby for like 1,000 years kind of thing. I assume she aged normally until she turned, 21 years of age, and then her biological aging slows. But that's all, theory on my part, headcanon. It's possible that is entirely wrong. Katana is a baby for like 2,000 to 3,000 years. You know what I mean? So.
Behold, you go, Seidan, the realm of order. Tread carefully, the Seidan guard enforces the law without mercy.
But I am new to this place. How am I to abide by their laws if I do not know them?
This civilization has been built upon a concept of structure and organization. Deviation from this ideal is not tolerable. I cannot stress enough that we must avoid any entanglements in their legal system.
I believe the likelihood of that happening is small, but I will heed your warning.
So, before I go and do that, I am going to do a few side quests. Because unlike a lot of realms, these side quests become unavailable later in the game. So if I were to do a side quest playthrough, I'd have to restart the game. So, that's one of them. We'll hold off on that one. I wanted to do... not this one. I'm not gonna grab that chest because I don't remember what's in it. I don't want to risk unlocking stuff out of that video. Okay, so I think he's around here. Should be in Red Town. It's been a while since I've done those quests, so my memory saying I'm pretty sure he's at least on the inner ring. Maybe he's in green. I legitimately don't remember. It's been a while. Oh, they get me stumbling around and collecting coins. It's Jax. Just chilling right there. Maybe this side quest. It's a fight challenge. isn't available yet? Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it's not available until a bit later. Order Realm's weird, like, 'cause I don't remember the timing on all the quests. So we'll go ahead and do the one I do know that is absolutely time-based. I know how to do. It's that one outside the cell. Here it is.
I have arrested this man because I suspect he has killed someone from another town with a knife. If you find any evidence to prove his innocence or guilt, please bring it to me.
See what he has to say about it.
I did not kill anyone. Please, you must believe me.
So, this is a really weird side quest, because there are two outcomes to it, and they each give a different, like, I think they both give the same amount. Actually, no, I think one gives coins than the other. I think it's in one of these houses. I'm probably not going to do that outcome. Actually, you know, I will, because most people don't do it. I'll hunt around for a bit. Coin. So, one of the outcomes, and the one I will not be doing, and I think it's the one that actually gives you more coins, is behind the courtroom, which was that building with, like, the purple flags, there is a bloody knife. And it basically, doing so, that convicts the guy as, you know, who murdered the guy. It convicts him as a murderer. In one of these houses, whether it's this town, so we might have to hunt around a bit more, I do believe it's these houses. I will not pick that up. As probably an arena or something, and again, don't want to reserve that for the unlock video. Ah, here it is. So, this journal, an entry in this journal describes a murder. So, this journal, from what I remember, basically proves that the guy is innocent. Which is a really weird take on the quest, because, as a small spoiler, if you give it the knife and then talk with the murderer, quote, afterwards he'll say, I would have gotten away for it if it wasn't for you, or if it wasn't for your meddling or whatever. I actually don't know what he says in response to the journal thing about it, so I guess we'll find out together. I missed the guy. Come on, there you go.
This journal you found shows that the murdered man was concerned that a woman was trying to kill him. This is enough evidence to convince me this man is innocent. He is free to go. Take these coins for your service to the realm of order.
So, I do believe if you give the knife, you get 500 ruby coins instead of 400 jade, which is interesting. Let's see what this guy says. I never actually heard this.
Thank you, kind sir. I owe you my life.
You do. It's interesting though, like, because the knife dictates that he is a murderer. So I wonder, is the knife still here, or does it despawn after the quest? Wait. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it for ourselves. Yeah. I do find it weird as a way to dispose of a knife to put it outside of a courtroom, but which is also empty. I want you to, don't know if you can see that. There's that little pillar at the back. It probably won't be in this episode, but keep that in mind going into the next few episodes, that is straight up empty, because it leads into a theory of mine. that I have about the Realm of Order. I do wonder what happens if I give the knife to him.
Your service is no longer needed. This case is closed.
Okay. So I just get to keep the knife forever. That does make me now wonder if the journal, for that matter, does also not despawn. Most people seem to do the knife as the outcome, probably because it's closer. But I always found it fun to do the journal. Just because it seems like it is a weird thing to have as an option. Maybe it's this guy?
Water is scarce here. We must occasionally take some from other realms to have enough.
Yes, that is absolutely true. I'm looking for Darius. This is his name. Unfortunately, it might be I can't do it yet. And that might be the cause. We'll talk to other people just in case that's not.
I would love to chat, but I had not planned for any spontaneous conversations today.
Alright. Like I said, I think he's on this circle. Oh, I haven't shown the map. Well, not really, but I don't think I have. But yeah, you can see Order Realm is divided into 4 towns, because each one is considered a different town. And each one's color code. So you got Blue Town, Red Town, Green Town, and then you got Gold Town, which is the orange gold color. Now, definitely, yes, I can't seem to. Alright, I'm stuck on that. I can't seem to find him. It might be that it's just not an option right away. I might have to wait. But I thought for sure there was a side quest at this point in the game where you can. Yeah, I guess it must not be here. Maybe we'll check later. But there should be a side quest where you talk to Darius and he gives you a key to give to someone in the cell, in the prison cell. And that's it. That's pretty much the whole quest. I think Darius might give you a reward, but I don't remember. Basically, you help someone break out of prison. Alright. Now, okay, this is again one of those situations where, like, where does Shujinko know where to go? He starts in the portal. I'd say one thing, at least this is probably an easier realm to justify. I don't understand it, like, he just kind of randomly stumbles upon this stuff, it feels like. Unless you may want to argue that, oh, well, he asked for directions. That's possible, but I feel like he would talk to as little people as possible to try to avoid getting entangled in the legal system.
Please excuse my interruption, but I am Shujinko, champion of the Elder Gods. I bring a message from the King of Lei Chen requesting the aid of your guardsmen in outlaw.
I am quite busy, champion. Get to your point.
Lei Chen is under siege and in need of reinforcements to help defend it. Overlord Zafiro has offered to give control of his city to your realm if your guardsmen come to Outworld and defeat Shao Kahn's invading horde.
Shao Kahn? Long have we battled against his minions. It would benefit all the realms to further suppress his advance. I am Commander Hotaru. I would pledge my aid to the Outworld city, but I still have work to do here. Help me end this riot by defeating the leader of the resistance, and I will defend this overlord. I would think a champion of the gods could end this uprising with ease.
I will assist you however I can.
Excellent. We will first need to train you to be a Satan guardsman. You may not partake in an assault unless you are a deputized member of the guard. That is our law.
Then let us begin my training.
Follow me.
So I'm gonna use this training mainly to talk about something that has always interests me is a misconception. Not to hate on the guy. He hasn't been around for years, as far as I can tell. There was once upon a time a YouTuber named Mr. G-Star321. I don't think he does videos anymore. But he was one of the people I watched for more combat content. And at one point, first off, there's a video on YouTube of him, which I think I'll link it in the description of this video. That's made of a compilation of him hating Baraicho, which is hilarious. I get it, most people don't like Baraicho. A lot of people don't like a lot of characters. I believe every character has a reason to exist. Even Su Hao, for instance, like, he does his role that he needs to be, he's there, and that's fine. I think every character has some valid reason to exist, no matter what. But he talks about character Dairu. It might be considered a spoiler. It's mentioned, but it's in his bio, so I'm not gonna feel too bad about spoiling it. It's very minor, all things considered. Dairu he's a mercenary, and he was a member of the Satan Guard at one point, which he reveals in his bio and everything. And so in Mr. G-Star, okay, good combo. In Mr. G-Star's 321's video of the arcade lyre, which he played Noob Cybot, or Noob Smoke. Fun little fact about that is his video of him doing it is actually the Deception arcade cabinet in MK11's tournament arena, which is, in my opinion, the best arena in that game, just because of all the arcade machines. So he makes a big deal about Dairu able to shoot a star made of fire. In fact, just to kind of show what I mean, after the next training, I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna do arcade lyre with Dairu. I've decided. Probably be a lack of fatalities due to me not really remembering them, but I figure it would be a good idea to showcase what I mean. So Dairu, he has a projectile where he shoots a star made of, like, fire. And Mr. Star1 mentions about how that's a ridiculous concept, and that it's weird. And admittedly, his arguments aren't great. Him saying that Sub-Zero, for instance, shoots ice due to being trained so by the Lin Kuei. Yes, the Lin Kuei most likely cultivated his both Sub-Zero's cryomancy, along with Smoke's smoke powers. However, the thing is, the cryomancy with Sub-Zeros it's innate in them. The Lin Kuei just cultivated it. So this ability here is the one I'm talking about. So Dairu shoots like a thing of fire. Hotaru, a leader of the Satan's Guard, shoots a lava burst, showing that the Satan Guardsmen clearly have a affinity towards lava, fire, and molten stuff of that nature. So that's where I believe Dairu's ability comes from, is that it comes from his training as a Satan Guard. If anything, the argument with Dairu is less valid than even Liu Kang, who I assume uses Qi to power his abilities. It's never explicitly stated, I don't think ever, but my assumption is that he uses Qi and generates it in the form of fire. Same with not Liu Kang, but same with Kung Lao, who I assume uses it in the case of like wind, for the lack of a better term, powers, to help control his blade, his hat, which itself might have some magical essence. And you know, in the case of him, like say doing the tornado spin as an example, or it's strange. Whether that's true or not, again, all canon, or all headcanon.
Congratulations. You are now an honorary member of the Satan Guardsmen. Go now and defeat the leader of the resistance. His name is Darius. When you have completed this task, meet me here.
As you command.
So, yeah. I got tons of respect for Mr. G Star 321. But that claim that it's absurd for Dairu to shoot a Firestar is absurd. He clearly does it as a result of his Satan Guardsman training. It's no different than any other character being able to use any form of magic. Like I said, I assume that Liu Kang, Kung Lao, for instance, don't, quote, use magic, if you want to call it that, but they use the systems of Qi. Like Liu Kang's is fire, and it would make sense even with and fit the concept of Liu Kang having the duelist variation in MKX.
Are you the warrior known as Darius?
And what if I am?
If you are the leader of the resistance, I have been ordered to defeat you in combat and bring this riot under control.
You have found your man. I am Darius. I look forward to resisting the rest.
But yeah, a lot of people have the characters they hate. I'm trying to come to my chair here again. So, a lot of people, I get it. Force Snake, for instance, who, again, I have a lot of respect for with his knowledge of the lore, and his willingness to call out, you know, and be honest. Stop it. I don't think any character, though, is beyond, like, hatred. I can't say I actively hate a character. There are characters I dislike more than others, as in, I don't love them, but I'm okay with them. In cases like that, like, he hates Devora. And that's his opinion. He's open to it. I like Devora. I do agree that she shouldn't have been used in the way she was. She basically fills Tanya's role in MK4, except years after MK4. But the problems I have with Devora are more like, and the things I even kind of agree with him on, are like, she shouldn't have killed Scorpion in MK11. Spoiler, but I assume most people have played MK11 at this point. Maybe I'm wrong for assuming that, but stop it. Darius. But yeah, Devora shouldn't have killed Scorpion. I think it was a waste of both Devora and the current Scorpion, who had a really good arc anyway. I think it's a waste when you got someone like Noob Saibot, who wouldn't be really fitting. Speaking of Bihan in general, I think they really wasted Bihan's potential by not bringing him back as Sub-Zero also. Stop spamming. You're fucking... Alright. Thanks, Darius. I think that's my first loss, too. Like, stop doing that. We're just gonna make this a low attack fight. Got it. Super quick. But yeah, no, I got respect for Force Snake. I know a lot of people think he's nitpicky. Maybe he is to some degree. But he's right. in a lot of cases, something like Sindel. My problem with MK as a series boils down to just character redesigning more than anything. I care about the story, but I hate when they redesign characters drastically. Like, I hate MKX's Melina design for the lips. It came out of nowhere, it had no reason to exist, and it's just strange. There is part of me that likes the idea of her having lips, in the general idea of it making her more of a hybrid. But the thing is, like, it kind of ruins Melina's whole not being proud of her face mentality that she's always had. It also doesn't help that I think the Tarkata look dumb in the current way. I don't think their teeth look good, or the fact that their blades are also now bones. But that's more due to personal preference. Alright, so, turn to Hotaru. The problems I have with MK boil down to redesigns, like Baraka, for instance, having now. He does obviously still have blades in the story mode, but the fact that he decided to add bones too.
I have defeated Darius, Commander Hotaru.
Well done. It seems the rioters have been demoralized. Your service is no longer required. As promised, I will now depart for the city of Lei Chen in Outworld.
Thank you, Hotaru. I will meet you there.
Alright, so, yeah, as I was saying, the whole concept of the Tarkans having bones, I don't necessarily mind. I do think it undercuts their character a bit and their terrifying nature. On the other hand, I don't personally believe Baraka ever should have had that as a variation option. Because it's Baraka. Baraka should at least have blades. Someone, I can't remember who it was, I think it was a guy on Reddit, mentioned the idea of giving normal Tarkata, or most normal Tarkata at least, the bones, and making, like, Baraka, like, his blades be a selective choice to make him more vicious and killing and everything, and efficient, as he is the general of the leader of Tarkata. That is an interesting concept I think could have been explored. Maybe it would have been too similar to Jax, but then again, Jax has had his arms ripped off in this timeline, so who knows. I saw you hiding. Yeah, the redesigns I think are absurd. Tanya, oh man, I'll get back to it in a minute.
Shujiko, you have returned.
It is good to see you again, Hotaru. It seems the city is no longer under siege.
I drove off the invaders. They will most likely regroup and resume their assault, but I will stay to protect the city as long as is needed. I have taken control of this city in the name of order, as we agreed. However, King Zafiro seemed not to recall that arrangement.
Men often do
Kazio, knock on my door. Alright.
It makes no difference. The agreement is binding. As punishment for his forgetfulness, I have stripped him of his position. I now rule this town in the name of Sado.
Congratulations, Hotaru.
Now, if you will excuse me, I must see to its governing if I am to keep this town under control.
Alright. Had to let my cat out. Clawing at my door.
Come with us, human. Do not resist. You are outnumbered. This is the Overlord's emissary, the one who brought the Satan warrior Hotaru to defend the walled city of Lei Chen. I have lost many Tarkatan warriors to your treachery, human. You were to convince the Overlord to surrender, not bring him reinforcements.
He would not surrender. I did not wish to see his people suffer for his decision. Whatever plan you may have had with Overlord Zafiro, you had no right to punish them as well.
Shao Kahn's order is all the right I need. Overlord Zafiro defied him. When Shao Kahn discovers that our assault has failed, Your punishment will be severe. I should allow my horde to rip you to pieces.
Yes. Allow your soldiers to do what you are too frightened to do yourself.
What? I am Baraka, leader of the Kakata. I fear no one, least of all a human.
Then face me in combat. If you are so sure of your strength, kill me yourself. But if I emerge victorious, you must complete one task for me.
Agreed. My warriors will enjoy eating your flesh when I am done with you.
Alright, so as I was saying, for instance, redesigns that I'm not. Redesigns are a weird concept to me. Especially in drastic cases. I'm not, for instance, a fan of Rain's design in MK11. I think it's dumb. The whole concept of, and some people might look at that and go as, oh, you just don't want him to be Persian or whatever. Or that instead. I think it's fine if there's a Persian character. I don't think Rain's it. I don't think shoehorning Edenians as other races is weird. I think it is weird to me. Because he's not Persian. He could be, quote, Persian inspired, but the fact that his skin tone and everything has now changed to me is just weird. It's not like someone like Raiden, who is a god and could theoretically pick his form. Theoretically. So because of that, I find it strange that he's also in Persian. It's such a weird consistency. On one hand, I think some redesigns are okay. It doesn't really make them not weird. Admittedly, Liu Kang is an example. Liu Kang Kung Lao. I think it's great that they're Asian again. I find it stupid that they weren't anyway. But it does make playing like Shaolin monks or.
You have defeated me, human. I would not have thought it possible. Tell me what I must do. And tell me quickly before I change my mind.
You are a powerful warrior, Baraka. I ask that you teach me your fighting techniques.
Great warrior I am, human. I will show you why I am the most feared Tarkatan in Shao Kahn's army.
So, as I was saying, I do find it strange to play old games, older Mortal Kombat games, where they're clearly coded as Caucasian, at least looking. Like, Shaolin Monks is a great example of the weirdness it is. I personally like them better with their Asian look. I think it fits them, it makes sense. They're Earthrealm. They're from Earthrealm, it makes more sense. On the other hand, switching Katana and Jade, I'm missing though, is a bit weirder to me. They're Edenian. There's no reason to even edit their look. And I think part of it is due to them using the model of the actors, the voice actors for them. They're not the only company to do it. Call of Duty does it. I think it's a weird thing to do. I think it would benefit them to, what the hell? Work. What? Okay. Don't know why that wasn't working. I think it would benefit them to go back to modeling off a specific style like they did in this game, instead of utilizing real people's faces. Because I think, first off, it's weird to do anyway, in the concept of, if you look at it like, well, they're being murdered, if you consider fatalities the thing. But the thing I find strange about it is it leads to a situation where if they don't get the same actress or actor, depending on the character, it leads to this really weird inconsistency with looks. Take Ronda, which I have my own thoughts on. Ronda doing Sonya Blade, which I respect for Ronda Rousey as a UFC performer. She was a decent pro wrestler. More surprised by a lot of stuff she did. Didn't care for her, but in WWE, but that's more just me. I find undefeated streaks that are on weekly television weird. I find them boring. On the other hand, I don't think, first off, her acting is... Look, when she gets to be Sonya Blade, it doesn't have to do any emotional stuff, she's fine. I'm not saying she's amazing, but she's fine. Also, Baraka's blade's purple. I don't know why that happens. If anything, that should be a modification for it, because I think that would be kind of funny. The thing, though, about Ronda was she just took me, for instance, out of the story, which I was into. I didn't actually... I'm not a fan of MK11, its story. Its gameplay is fine, but I'm not much of a gameplay guy. This is my favorite Mortal Kombat for gameplay. Well, technically, this is my favorite mainline, but I'll get back to that point later. Ronda, I just think, wasn't perfect. On the other hand, I think Sonya's actress, I can't remember her name, in MKX, though, was perfect. And I think she was fine. But again, I think it's so strange to redesign characters off their actor or whatever. I do, again, personal preference thing with voice actor. I don't like Noob's voice in MK11. I like him better with his deep voice that he had in this game, and then also MK Armageddon. I think he had a voice in that. I can't remember if he actually ever talked. Raiden's the same. I'm not a fan of Raiden's voice actor. Since MK9, I haven't been. I don't know if he had the same voice actor in MK vs. DC Universe, but I just thought it was so underwhelming compared to what he had in Deadly Alliance to Armageddon, at least, which I thought was just empowering. It was the voice of a god, which I think is very fitting for him. It makes sense, but redesigns I just find weird. Unless there's a legitimate story reason for them, I don't see the point of redesigning a character so consistently. Like, Dark Raiden, I think, is a great example of a redesign done well. It's done and it has context within the story. In this case, with Deception, with Dark Raiden, Onaga's essence corrupted him, which I think was perfect. And of course, in MK11, I think even the way he gets corrupted at the end of MKX is great too. The Jinsei purifying, it ends up corrupting him because he drains the corruption. What the fuck? Okay. I'm gonna leave that in, because I don't really edit anyway, but that was fucking strange. I'm not even sure what happened there. Okay. Game's trying to go against me or something. It's saying it's had enough. I am over an hour. But, yeah, I think redesigning characters is a very weird thing, and if it's going to be done...
Enough. I have shown you enough of my combat skills. I must keep some techniques to myself.
I thank you for what you have shown me.
I will command my troops to allow you safe passage from our encampment. Go back to your portal and never return to this realm.
Yes, I will leave this realm at once. There is nothing more that I need.
Alright, so as I was saying, I think redesigning characters is strange. I don't think it should be done without a justifiable story reason for it to be done. In this era, it's one thing, because you can argue that, like, Melina's outfit and everything is a whole redesign on her. But Melina, for instance, never had a design until Deception. So I give some like Deception a little credit. I do think any redesign past that is strange. Tanya, for instance, as an example, when they made her pretty much white, which they did with Jade also. I don't know if you'll remember that enough because it was on the mobile game. But Jade was, her skin color was turned white. And in the case of Tanya, they also gave her pupils. Ugh. It gives me shivers. It's so disturbing. I hate it. Because she's always been designed as, whether black or brown, black, more definitely, anyway, of dark skin nature with...
What do you mean, Damashi?
You have sacrificed much in your service to the elder gods these long years. Therefore, they are granting you that which you desire since your child, a chance to compete for a combat tournament in Earthrealm and defeat the sorcerer Shang Tsung.
I do not know what to say. How did they know of my dreams of defeating Shang Tsung?
Long ago, I watched you from afar as you played with your childhood weapon. It was quite clear that you worshipped the warrior Kung Lao. But unlike your parent, you will be more than a match for Shang Tsung. You have absorbed the fighting styles of many great warriors. Now is your chance to fulfill your dream.
Thank you, Damashi. I will return to Earthrealm at once.
So, yeah, as I was saying, she had darker skin with the eyes that are, I'm sorry, white eyes, but no pupils. I believe she did have pupils in MK4. I'm not gonna dispute that. I don't know fully, outside of seeing images of her model, and that's it. So, because of that, you know, I'm not a fan of her MKX story mode design. It makes playing MKX story mode really difficult, in the same manner that playing even like a Shadow Monks at least has gameplay that I like. I'm not a fan of MKX's gameplay. I think it's too jungle heavy for a game.
Please excuse my curiosity, but why do you cover your eyes? Are you blind?
Yes, due to the treachery of the sorcerer Shang Tsung.
You have met Shang Tsung?
He preyed upon my desire to prove my superiority in combat. He promised to show me the location of a powerful sword that would complement my skills. The sword was entombed among the souls of my warrior ancestors. Shang Tsung consumed their souls to increase his power. The experience left me blinded.
Is the sword from your tail the one you now carry?
Yes, the sword guides me. Over the years, it has shown me the way to use my other senses in combat.
Most impressive. You are truly a warrior of distinction.
Now I have but one goal, to slay the sorcerer who blinded me. Doing so will free the consumed souls of my ancestors. If you provide me with his location, I will teach you to fight without your eyes.
I am to enter his Mortal Kombat tournament. When I find him, I will return to you with any information I uncover.
My search for Shang Tsung will continue here in the north. I suggest you look in the southwest.
So, yeah, I think redesign characters is, we will be picking up a side quest here, actually. Because it's, again, one of those things that disappear at some point.
Welcome back, Shuchiko. We observed your training from afar and believe you are now proficient in the deadly arts. Yet, there is something odd about your chi. I sense a strange emptiness within you. I am sorry, Shuchiko, but we cannot allow you to represent the White Lotus in the Mortal Kombat tournament if your soul is tainted. Doing so could prove to be disastrous.
Alright, so I think... Alright, yeah, I'm done there. So, yeah, the concept of redesigning, I'm fine with outfits being changed. I have never had a problem with that. Because they're outfits, people can wear different outfits, that's fine. However, MK11, of course, redesigns a lot of the outfits in story mode on the past characters. It's dumb. I'm a person who values authenticity. So it's really weird for them to not be wearing outfits. I get people will say they're skimpy outfits, and I get that, but they're the outfits they had. And to change it just kind of draws more attention to how wrong it is.
This is sacred ground, stranger. I am Night Wolf. I must ask you to leave this place before your evil taint defiles the sanctity of these grounds.
I do not understand. I am Shujinko. I assure you that I mean no disrespect to your people.
I sense corruption in your soul, Shujinko. A spiritual contamination that I have never before perceived.
I feel no touch of evil, but my travels have taken me to many worlds. Perhaps it is a result of my journeys in the Netherlands.
It is possible. If you will allow me, I may be able to purge this contagion from your being, although it will take many years to accomplish.
Many years? It will delay my quest, but I suppose I should take advantage of your offer.
So, first off, I might have picked up on the mic. I was snickering a bit at how animated he was at the beginning. Like, Nightwolf just couldn't sit still. But yeah, I'm not a fan of redesigning characters so drastically every game. I think the move to using real people in general in gaming has been a weird thing. Especially in a game like MK, even Call of Duty, I find it strange. I think it's such a weird concept to do. I guess it's easier, is probably the point. I can't say otherwise. I wouldn't know. I do think, though, from a consistency point, the characters are very loose in appearance. At this point, they could realistically... I think it's a... Oops. It's a slippery slope at some point, and I think Rain's a great example. I think changing Rain to the way they have, where he's kind of Persian-inspired, which isn't a bad look for him necessarily. It's just weird on that specific character because he's always been Caucasian, or white, and how you want to look at it. It's the same as, again, Jade, for instance, when they made her white in the mobile port. It was so strange because she's always been dark-skinned. Same with, same, of course, with Tanya, like I said. It's just such a strange change that I find weird. Never understood why it's a concept that even became a thing. Contrary to that, I do think Sindel having pupils is fine because it's her being alive. Unlike Tanya, where... But Sindel as a whole is a whole nother issue. I think with redesigning characters, you come into a point where the actual look of the character stops to matter. I still think it's weird. I didn't mention it all when I trained with Ermac, but I find Ermac being white such a weird premise because he was originally dark-skinned. And that was, like, his color. Now, admittedly, Ermac is one of those weird cases where he's usually covered up anyway. I do think him being white is strange. It's the same thing with that I have with, like, Liu Kang Kung Lao. I think if they made him dark-skinned again, I think it would be a weird design for a lot of people, but it would make sense. Because he was dark-skinned originally. In the MK3, I believe it was. And so to have him be white throughout the games, at least since Deception, I always thought it was strange. Whoops. This is one of those things that's like, Mortal Kombat does. I kind of accepted it. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily happy about it. I think redesigning characters for that sake, face, unless they're aging up. I think specifically, like in the case of someone like Johnny Cage or Sonya, I think unless they're aging, I don't think they should be changed to the point they are. I think if you want to change their outfits, that's fine. That even makes sense. They should have different outfits every game. Or at least have... Oh yeah, here's the training, by the way, that I talked about earlier, where it does 4. My only theory is it's meant to show off the Spear Arrow, how it stacks, but I'm not sure why. But yeah, I think it's such a strange concept for them to redesign characters every game. Obviously, I don't want, like, if I were to pick a design for the majority of, like, at least my favorites, like Jade, Tanya, and all them, my favorite... okay. Wait a minute. Does he just fire it? Okay, he shot me. He shot the camera. I think the concept of, like, the idea of, like, what designs I would use for our characters, I would easily use Jade and Tanya's Deceptions outfits and bodies. I think they're perfect for them. I think Jade's skin tone is perfect in Deception. I think her skin tone got a little too light, or double lightning. I think her Jade's skin tone, for instance, got way too light in MK11. It's not like Jade's skin tone has always been getting darker. I've noticed. It's one of the things I noticed after playing MK3, even that, like, her skin tone has gotten lighter and lighter every game. Will say I do think if I were to pick one that my personal preference is I would pick Jade to have her Deception skin tone and her alternate attire, which is so beloved apparently that people even think it's her primary, which is fair because I definitely can understand the confusion. However, personal preference aside, I would give Jade her normal skin tone, her original MK3 skin tone. If we're talking like what they should do, that's the one they should do. Shujinko spent many years with Nightwolf, who taught him much about the spirit of the warrior. Through Nightwolf's teachings, Shujinko expanded his consciousness and heightened his awareness.
You have accomplished much since beginning your spiritual cleansing, Shujinko. Though the taint of evil continues its hold on you, my training has given you the ability to control it.
I am grateful for what you have done, Father Knight.
I wish you luck on your journeys. You are always welcome in the lands of my forefathers.
Yeah. So back to what I was saying, because we are nearing the end of this part, because I'm going to finish up this Earthrealm segment. So this next area, and I think there's a fight afterwards, and then I will end this part because we're at an hour and 23 minutes, and I didn't realize it until now.
Greetings, stranger. I search for experienced fighters to take part in a competition. Do you know of any?
I am quite adept at many fighting styles. Who are you? What is this contest you speak of?
I am Shang Tsung. My Mortal Kombat tournament will begin soon on my island fortress. Only the best will be allowed to enter.
Shang Tsung? Long have I heard tales of your foul deeds. I am Shujinko. Since I was a boy, I dreamed of winning the Mortal Kombat tournament and ridding Earthrealm of your tyranny.
Is that so? Then it seems I will have to test the great Shujinko. You are most welcome to compete, but only if you can prove that you are worthy of such an honor. Fight!
So, I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it. The redesigning of characters, whether it be the body, the outfits, skin tones, whatever. I think it's a strange thing. I think it's something that people just kind of accept in Mortal Kombat, and I get it. They redesign people about as much as bad continuity, actually more because they're designing whatever game. But I find it strange that it's never talked about. And I think it really needs to be talked about because just like it is a case of it is almost its own example of quote bad continuity within Mortal Kombat. When a character looks different so drastically between two games, or even in the case where we have their look from one game, like in MK11, where Jade and Katana and all of them are all different, I think it's a case of, yeah, it is strange. Katana and Jade, for instance, are their MK2 variations. They should be their MK9 ones. I get it. They didn't want to include his outfits for whatever reason they want to say. You wouldn't fight in a bikini, but you'd fight in high heels. I mean, at the end of the day, look at it this way. I mean, you can learn to fight in either. So I don't see what the problem is, but...
Most impressive, Shujinko. You are indeed worthy to compete in the Mortal Kombat tournament. I will enjoy consuming your soul when you lose.
I do not think so. It has been my greatest desire to win Earthrealm's freedom from you and your master, Shao Kahn. Of course, I am not the only one who seeks your defeat. I requested an acquaintance of mine be allowed to compete as well. He too longs to challenge.
Would this acquaintance of yours be the blind swordsman Kenshi? He has been searching for me for quite some time, has he not?
You know?
There is little in this realm that escapes my attention, though I must admit I was surprised to learn that he had survived our previous encounter. Return to him and inform him that he is welcome to face me on my island in the Lost Sea. The tournament is fast approaching, however. He must hurry if he wishes to fulfill his quest for revenge.
I'll go back to the thing about the outfit in a minute here, because I do want to mention this. That MK9, indirectly, I would say, confirms this part of the story as canon, solely by the fact that Kenshi fights in the tournament.
Shujinko, it has been many years since last we met. Although I have sensed Shang Tsung's presence on many occasions, I have not been able to locate him.
I have found him. He has invited us both to his island to face him in Mortal Kombat. He has been watching you. He knew that you were searching for him.
I had suspected as much. This explains why I have never been able to find him. He was always one step ahead of me. I thank you for bringing me this news. I will now teach you to do battle without the use of your eyes.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, it makes sense because Kenshi is revealed to be fighting, I can't remember who he faces. But he fights someone in the tournament. He's announced to fight by Shang Tsung. Now, I want to point out some, actually, because I just skipped over. Actually, here, let me turn the map. I'll show you what I mean, because it'll pop back up. This is a case of me being wrong in my conceptions and everything. And it was a headcanon I had, and then as I grew up, I thought more about it and realized that this was wrong. And the first fighting style, Tai Chi, was taught to me when I was young. That line, to me, implied that Kenshi was Apep. Apep grew up and eventually grew into Kenshi. Now, obviously, that's wrong. Because Kenshi is obviously Japanese, Apep that lives in China is Chinese. And that's really all you need to immediately discount it. as I grew up, I finally learning more and more about the lore, where Shujinko is from and all that, where Lin Kuei is based. I keep doing this where I like uppercut or something near them. But yeah, I always thought that as a kid, and then later learned. Obviously, got no problem admitting I'm wrong. Just showed that. I like being proven wrong. It's something that... it's nice. I know a lot of people don't like admitting it. I like being proven wrong because I can learn from it. But yeah, back to the outfit thing. I don't get... first off, the argument that I always saw for Katana and Jade and all of them in their outfits in MK9 was that for Katana it was ridiculous because she's a princess. Now, I get that. Now, on the other hand, I don't think people remember, Katana's an assassin. And I'm 95% sure, by Shao Kahn's standard, she's an assassin first and a princess never. Obviously, because Melina. I've always thought of interesting ways to fix MK11, MKX, and all that. I think in the case of... I've always said that in order to fix 9's consistency issues, someone's mentioned the idea of... This isn't my idea now. Mentioned the idea that in Armageddon, that Quan Chi's ending was also canon. Was actually fully canon, and he became the medallion, and that explains why stuff is the way it is in MK9. My theory, personally, was Shinnok. So, Shinnok obviously is a fallen elder god, but he is one of the few people alive at the end of... Well, not alive, but yeah, he technically never dies in Armageddon. Right, because he sends a duplicate to the battle. So, my idea was always that Shinnok sent... Shinnok sent his own memories to the past, like Raiden did. Right? And that's why stuff is so different. It doesn't admittedly explain plot holes, like Quan Chi having the medallion during MK9, which I believe is an oversight, because I think I read somewhere they used his DC Universe model, which I don't know why they thought that was okay, but whatever. It is what it is. Admittedly, it's only weird. Same thing for here. Oh wait, no, it's not. It does. It switches instead because reasons. But I find I always had the idea as a premise. And ironically enough, and fittingly, if they had revealed that in MK11, it would ironically probably be a much better story than Kronika, and would even fit. Instead of making everything just Kronika's design, you could have had her send Shinnok back from the old timeline to the new one. Kronika has her own issues. Aside from, she has a great voice actor, Jennifer Hale is awesome. Her design is terrible, which I think I'm right in saying, and most people pretty much agree with. I am a fan. I'll make a point that the way they've gone with the gods and the pantheon and everything, is that they've clearly gone for that Greek mythology level, and I am a huge fan of Greek mythology. Any of my friends and family could tell you that. But if there's one series I think should never have ever touched Greek mythology, outside maybe character inspiration, is Mortal Kombat. Because the way the game is era-based, it has always been based off Asian mythology and movies, kung fu movies, all that. Alright. Mimic. And because of that, I always thought it would have been weird as even a premise to even start you know, using other mythologies. Is it wrong necessarily? No. I think there is a weird, as Force Snake, and I'll definitely link that video too in the description. I'll link Force Snake's video on the Pantheon of Mortal Kombat, because I think he does a great job at it.
My promise. I must leave for Shang Tsung's island. I only hope he has not been defeated before I arrive.
Indeed, you have a long-standing vendetta with Shang Tsung, but I have dreamed of entering the Mortal Kombat tournament since I was young. You will have to wait your turn, my friend. If he is still alive when I am finished with him, you may take your revenge.
We will see, Shujinko. I will meet you on the island.
So, yeah, we're gonna get into this part, but...
Shujinko, I return to you because I sense that some change has taken place. You are different in some way.
I have undergone a spiritual cleansing. The warrior knight had detected an evil stain upon my soul. He was unable to remove it completely, but he has given me the ability to suppress it.
This is an unfortunate turn of events.
Unfortunately, an evil stain has been cleansed from my soul. My sense of awareness is as heightened as it was when Master Goraicho trained me.
Meditation allows you to enter realms otherwise inaccessible to other beings. You will need to regain it in order to continue your quest. I suggest that you return to the Netherlands. It will restore the impurities you to enter the more accursed realms. Once your quest is finished, you are free to cleanse your spirit once more.
I cannot believe that you would ask such a thing of me. Surely the contamination I am already forced to carry is enough to access it.
Question my orders, Shujinko. I never promised your quest would be pleasant. You must fulfill your obligation to the Elder Gods. Return to the Netherlands.
Have you forgotten the Mortal Kombat tournament? I was on my way to Shang Tsung's island to compete.
I understand your disappointment, but your dream of defeating Shang Tsung will have to wait. For now, you must fulfill your destiny.
I will do as you ask.
Alright, so we'll go back and talk to then. It's nighttime. I'll just wait, because I could talk about it then. So, yeah, Force Sake talks about it a bit. Like I said, I'll link the video. So you guys, anyone wants to watch it. Is that basically it is questionable how an Elder God like Shinnok cannot die, right? Yet a being above them like Kronika can die. I agree. I always thought it was strange. Kronika's supposedly dead. Yes, she's above Elder Gods, or the one being, depending on who you ask. Yes, Sean Kilson or Dominic Cancillo. I think overall, the same problem permeates anything in Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat has a lot of issues, continuity. Conquest mode, even like Deception's Conquest mode that I'm actively playing, even has its own issues with the timeline because of the weird way, mostly because the game originally had time travel in it, and they cut it because it was unfinished. I'll probably reserve that conversation for next part though, because we're nearing the end, and I gotta find that stopping point here.
You are not ready yet, Shujinko. Do not return until you have advanced in your training.
Okay, so something's glitched there, because that definitely shouldn't have. He's meant to give me a white lotus sash and go kill some, quote, beastmen, which are Takata, in the countryside. They would be right here. So.
Begone. This portal is not for use by mortals.
Who are you?
I am the Thunder God, Raiden. This ancient portal has been activated. I must secure it to prevent intrusion from other realms.
Lord Raiden, I am Shujinko. I am the champion of the Elder Gods. It was I who opened the portal.
Champion, you say? I think not. A champion of the Elder Gods would possess the might of 10 warriors and could fight with his eyes closed. It is highly unlikely that you possess such abilities.
I will say there's very specific requirements that I just happen to meet. But in the cases of, I totally forgot even what the fuck I was talking about now. This is distracted by. All right. Where was I? I don't remember. God damn it. Oh, the whole thing of like, I think that's where I was. Last one I remember at least. The whole thing of Elder Gods not being able to die is a bit strange. I'll probably reserve some other topics for obviously next video, because I'll end this once I get back into the Nexus. And then next time we'll head into the Netherrealm, because that's probably the best stopping point currently. Since we'll end here after this fight, I'll enter the Nexus, and I'll end it there. So, yeah, I'll be linking both the Mr. G Star 321. I'll link his Deception video, for the sake of people knowing what I'm talking about. I'll be doing a diary playthrough anyway, probably after this, or at least shortly. Probably rather soon. Might be directly after. I am unsure. I also linked that compilation video. I think it's about an hour and a half of like him hating Baricho, just because it's amazing. And then I'll also be linking Force Snake's Cannonball series. I'll be linking the episode of the Pantheon in Mortal Kombat. If any of you want to watch those, go ahead. I think they're all amazing in their own ways.
You seem to possess much strength and skill, Shujinko. Forgive me for doubting you, but if the Elder Gods have indeed unleashed their champion, they must be concerned that the end of the realms is near. Your presence might be connected with the Mortal Kombat tournament here in Earthrealm. Have you come to aid us?
I did come to fight for Earthrealm in the tournament, but I have recently been ordered to the Netherrealm.
I am sure the Elder Gods have their reasons for redirecting you at so crucial a time. It may be that the Shaolin have already chosen their representative. In any event, I will keep a close watch over the tournament's proceedings. Shang Tsung is a treacherous sorcerer. If he wins this time, Earthrealm belongs to Shao Kahn.
If you need my aid when I am finished with my task in the Netherrealm, search for me. I will gladly assist you.
Thank you, Shujinko. Good luck.
Alright, so I am gonna go talk to the Elder again, just to see if I can pick up the quest. And then we'll go from there. I assume I probably won't be getting me. I'll talk to Wen over there. Okay, he's not gonna.
Greetings. You must be Master Boricho's new pupil. No doubt Master Shen would appreciate meeting.
Oops. I might actually have to go talk to Master Shen and all that. Okay, that might be the problem here.
I regret you were unable to attend the contest of the Shaolin. No doubt you would have fought impressively.
Okay, so maybe if I go back here? This might not be doable thing because I don't think I talked to them earlier in the game.
You are not ready yet, Shujinko.
Alright, let me, yeah. Alright, so I can't pick up this quest, fortunately. So I guess I'll be ending it once I get back to Nexus. Yeah, I'll be linking those videos. They'll each have their own video, little spot there. I'll be uploading the other video shortly after this one's done, and then this will probably go up maybe a half hour after. It'll be uploaded when the next one, other one's uploaded. I'll start immediately processing on this one. But yeah, so thank you all for watching. Anyone that decided to watch, especially up to this point, listen to me ramble / rant / just awkward as fuck with especially the intro because of the situation last time. Next we'll be heading to the Netherrealm. I'll of course recite everything this thing, but yeah, I mean, I want to hear you guys' thoughts on redesigning. I think redesigning is a weird concept in Mortal Kombat. I think they do it too drastically and too often. But thank you all for watching. I'm gonna say I'll probably do the diary playthrough tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it today or tonight. It is currently 1:27 a.m. So we'll see. Thanks for watching. That's it. Bye.